Hasen approached Tang, holding a dagger backhandedly, a way he had learned from Yi. 2 feet away from Tang, Hasen suddenly wielded the dagger and stabbed it at him from an unexpected angle. Fang Jinqi was shocked, and the quiet man's eyes lit up. Tang was covered in cold sweat and it was too late to parry that attack with his broadsword. He abruptly turned sideways but was still stabbed in the waist. ****, your strike was not that different from his, Tang called out, staring at Hasen. Fang Jinqi looked at Hasen with a strange look and the quiet man's eyes also fell on Hasen's hands. Hasen was surprised himself as well. He was practicing jade skin madly these days. And practicing Hand of God had also enhanced his speed. In addition, he just saw Yi's way of fighting and had some new insights. Now his strike was so powerful that he couldn't believe it himself. Ha, God loves me. With you sparring with me, Yi will be no big deal. Tang laughed out loud. For a whole night, none went to bed. But the only one who was practicing with Hasen was Tang. Fang Jinqi didn't register in the contest and the quiet man was just watching and did not meant to join them. Having practiced for a night, Tang could not avoid Han's dagger as long as Hasen was within a foot from him. Tang didn't develop a way to defend himself, while Hasen was getting better and better. I give up. There is no way to parry your attacks. Maybe I'm doomed, Tang said sullenly. As he saw it was about time to go to God's sanctuary for the contest and there was no point in going on. Now you are able to deal with Yi, Lin Feng who had been watching in silence suddenly said. Lin, what do you mean? Asked Tang, sitting up straight and staring at Lin Feng. Yi Dongmu is not as good as him. You can't parry his strikes. But with Yi you would be able to avoid being stabbed in fatal parts. If your luck is not too bad and run into Yi in a few days instead of today, you could block Yi's strikes at a very small price. Hearing this remark from Lin Feng, Tang and Fang all looked Hasen, appalled. They knew Lin Feng well and was shocked that he would speak so highly of Hasen by saying that Yi Dongmu was not as good. Hasen's background was much inferior to Yi and Yi was probably also older. Yet Lin Feng said Yi Dongmu was not as good as Hasen. If the remark was from another person, they would certainly have scoffed. But they knew Lin Feng and he was never wrong. Last year, the only reasons he was not the first place were that he hadn't broken the bottleneck in his hyper Geno art and that he entered God's sanctuary 2 years later than his opponent. No need to look at him that way. I'm just saying his style is better than Yi Dongmu's. But his fitness was still inferior to Yi of course. Lin Feng smiled, and reached a hand out to Hasen. I am Lin Feng, very pleased to know you. You are an interesting person. Hasen, a pleasure. Hasen shook his hand, smiled and said. Well, it is late, let's shower and teleport. Tang interrupted the eye contact between Hasen and Lin Feng. He turned to ask Hasen. There is a teleport device here. You want to join us? Quote, no, I did not register so I will not go. Hasen declined and left. Watching Hasen leaving the villa, Tang asked Lin Feng, is he really so good? Quote, he's better than you think. If he had the same background as Yi, he would be 100 times more impressive than the latter. He understands the essence of assassination, while Yi only has some skills. His growth was limited by his background but he will be well known in a few years, commented Lin Feng. Such high praise from Lin. He must really be something, Fang Jinqi said. In a few years, will he surpass you? Tang was interested. In First God's Sanctuary, I am invincible, said Lin Feng casually, exuding confidence. This time Hussein had gained a lot. Not only did he get an S-class license from Tang, he also enhanced his advantages in sneak attacks. As pointed out by Lin Feng, his strikes were more threatening than Yi's. But no matter how powerful his strikes were, he had to first get close to his opponent, which was not easy. In practice, he started from the proximity of Tang, who would never let him get so close in a real match. After all, the art of assassination was better used in the dark. Yi had practiced a kind of footwork that allowed him to easily approach others even from the front. But Hussein had never learned it, so it was hard for him to get close. That footwork was also a hyper-geno art and involved special techniques. Hussein was never good at footwork and could not imitate from watching the videos. Even if he tried, he couldn't get the essence of it. Therefore, it was essential that he should learn his own footwork. Maybe I should consider using this on my footwork. Hussein squeezed the S-class license in his pocket. But now he had no time for that. Practicing a new hyper-geno art took time. Hussein went to the teleport station, entered God's sanctuary, dressed himself as dollar and entered the martial ring. In the middle of the martial ring erected a giant sacred stele that was 100 times more magnificent than the martial stele. Under the watch of people from Steel Armor Shelter, Hussein marched into the sacred stele and was teleported to a huge martial ring, chosen martial ring. In all the shelters of God's sanctuary, there was a similar sacred stele from which the image of chosen martial ring was projected. At this moment, champions from all the shelters were entering chosen martial ring from the sacred stele.